please play that beat now. Sip H, that Supabass got boom, boom. Got me dead live, I'm Kurt Cobain, boom, boom. Sip H, that Supabass got boom, boom. Got me dead live, I'm Kurt Cobain, boom, boom. Sip H, that boom, boom. Sip H, that Supabass got boom, boom. Got me dead live, I'm Kurt Cobain, boom, boom. Sip H, that
Happy holidays, Winnicott. I'm back.
And I'm back for a feature.
Liz, get off your phone. It's distracting you from filming.
Sorry, I was on TikTok. I always do it during class. It's a bad habit.
Good thing Christina and Sydney just did a story on remote learning and social media distractions.
Did you know that it's been 269 days since we were last in school due to COVID?
Yeah, that's crazy. What did you do with all your free time in quarantine?
I've been mostly scrolling through my phone and going on social media.
Yeah, same. I am constantly on my phone.
Statistics show that 45% of teens feel addicted to their smartphones. Teenage users on average spend around 2 hours and 51 minutes a day on their smartphones. Around 60% of teens admit that smartphone addiction is a real and serious problem.
I feel like we're not the only ones that go on our phones constantly during quarantine.
Yeah, definitely not. Let's take a look at what students and staff have to say about their phone uses during quarantine and remote learning.
I absolutely think kids are more distracted during online school. I stare at their blank page, so they could be doing anything on the other side of that screen, and I would have no idea.
They are distracted because they're not engaged and they want to go do something else. They're also distracted by doing work for other classes. Like that you can see them if they do have their camera on working on things for other classes, flipping pages, typing. They might be on a phone with a friend, or a lot of them choose to just turn the camera off. And I don't know if they're doing work for another class on the phone with a friend, having a sandwich out in the living room, playing with their dog.
I would imagine that phones are a large distraction for the kids, but I'm sure there are plenty other distractions.
When we were in school, phones were the distraction, but now that problem in remote learning has been magnified a million times over because phones are just one of the many distractions available to students now.
Now that we've heard what teachers have to say about students in their phones during remote learning, let's take a look at what students have to say about their relationship with their phones.
My screen time's probably 6.5 hours.
My screen time's probably like 7 or 8 hours with my computer and my phone combined.
My screen time is like 5 hours a day.
My most used app is probably Snapchat or Instagram.
Probably TikTok and then Snapchat is a second.
My most used app is probably Snapchat.
I can't really go without it. It's usually in my hand all the time.
I'd say my phone is pretty distracting. I mean, I look at it like all the time during school.
Yeah, having my phone by my side is really easy to just go on it and use it as a distraction.
Definitely think my phone's a distraction because it's really hard to focus in online school. And just like being able to go on TikTok and just like waste all my time.
I'd say social media positively impacts me because I like feel more connected to people, I guess.
For WHTV, this is Christina
And Sydney.
signing off.
All I do since quarantine started is go on my phone.
What else have you been up to?
I don't know, I went bridge jumping a lot.
Everyone has spent their time in quarantine so differently. Maybe that's why the fall play decided on a virtual performance of 10 Ways to Quarantine. With more than 600 views on YouTube, the fall play put on a performance of 10 Ways to Survive Quarantine this weekend on our YouTube channel. The group worked really hard all fall to make this production happen, and now we need your help. So far, they have raised almost $1,500, but still need more to reach their goal of $6,000. The money raised goes to the funding for the spring performances, which this year will be the jukebox musical Mamma Mia. Please donate and spread the word.
I watched it on Friday night. I'm definitely going to go donate to their GoFundMe.
Me too. They had such a great performance. I'm so happy they were able to figure something out.
Speaking of figuring something out, I wonder if they have made any plans for clubs meeting in person again. I'm in Project Search and it stinks we're missing out on some of our yearly opportunities.
I just joined that club this year too. WHTV reporter Vanya Ramadan has a story on the latest updates the school has for us on clubs meeting in person again.
Clubs at Winnicott have been looking pretty different this year due to not being able to meet because of the coronavirus. To tackle this, clubs have been meeting remotely on Zoom and Google Meet, similar to online classes. However, there has been word of moving back in person. Advisor of Drama Club Mrs. Larrabee says that right now there are proposals being drafted up to get in-person club meetings back.
I don't believe there are any clubs meeting in person. However, advisors have been asked to submit proposals for in-person meetings, detailing the planned procedures and protocols that we would take.
Club supervisor Mr. DeBoule says that the goal for in-person meetings is to make them feel as normal as possible while still being safe.
Well, the goal is to have them look as normal as possible. If clubs can be in person and be 6 feet apart and have masks on and accomplish the goals of their club, then we're all for it. If the club itself doesn't lend itself to those protocols and those safety standards, then we wouldn't really go for something like that.
ASL Club President Jacob Sachalarius, Mrs. Larrabee, and Mrs. Osborne from Interact say that not being able to meet in person loses a sense of connection, but they are doing well at adapting.
Being remote and online, it's hard to be able to get that connection and see everyone at the same time, which makes it difficult to have conversations when we are practicing our sign language.
So obviously it's a little difficult to provide the same level of theater since theater is a live art. And so much about theater is like connecting with people, connecting with your audience, storytelling, body language, and feeling kind of like the energy around you. So that's been a little bit tricky to really give the students that experience. But we've found some great improv games to play online, and we've kept our spirits up, I think. So it could be better, but it's not bad.
You know, the thing about Interact is it's a connection kind of program and club. And so, one of the first things we do is a lot of times we've helped out with Seafood Festival. Well, no Seafood Festival. So, basically about everything is different with it online. But I think we have some good ideas, and we're trying to do some of that. We've had a little success right now with the Thanksgiving basket, so.
Beyond those struggles, clubs have actually found that meeting online has been a success and has its pros, like an increase in attendance. Jacob says that since meetings can be held during Warrior Block, more people have been able to show up.
Also, our attendance has been able to go up because the time that you're needed to join the meeting has gone down, so we can just have a quick meeting during Warrior Block and more people are able to join, which has brought up our attendance and is very helpful.
As for Drama Club, their big success has been in making remote meetings more fun via games.
Our executive board members have found some really entertaining games to play with our members. We've also had a lot of freshmen join recently, and they've become part of our goofy family.
All in all, Winnicott extracurriculars have had to undergo major changes, but clubs are still fun and interactive. If you haven't already joined a club, consider looking into it. Most clubs are always looking for new members. For WHTV, this is Vanya.
I hope they find a way so all clubs can return to in-person.
I don't think I want to go back in person. I would rather not see my teachers whose classes I failed since we've been online.
Oh, come on, Serena. You don't even want to watch them in the faculty show?
I've never been to the faculty show at Winna. Is it any good?
Yes, it's like the best time of year right before Christmas break. With the holidays approaching, the annual faculty holiday show is also coming up. Although this year is much different, the Winnicott staff is still trying to get a faculty show out remotely for fellow staff and students to enjoy. During the faculty show, each department comes up with an act. The act consists of singing, dancing, and comedy.
To me, the faculty show is a great time for teachers to get to do something fun and get to share some happiness. And I feel like at this point in time, we could all use a little bit of cheer and happiness. So I'm really hoping that even if it's just 3 different groups of people that come together and pull something together, hopefully we are able to give out a little bit of holiday cheer.
The show usually helps raise money for Winnicott Nurses Fund. At this time, the date is unknown, but make sure to tune in when the show is posted online.
Sounds like fun. I'll have to tune in this year since it's virtual.
The faculty show always gets me into the holiday mood. This year is more stressful though because that's what I'm expecting to hear back from colleges.
Yeah, well, some seniors don't have to think about that because they're already committed to schools. Here's a look into 4 seniors that had their signings in the last couple weeks. Many athletes have dreamed of playing a sport in college and continuing a career in professional sports. The college level athletics is much harder than high school sports, making the decision to continue hard for some students that are good enough to play at the harder level. For some of the seniors at Winnacunnet, it's their final year of sports before their college career, but a few have signed to continue to play a sport over the next 4 years. For some, pursuing this career is their biggest dream. For Samantha Crochetier, she has started this college process in 7th grade.
So the sport that I'm signing for is field hockey, and I'll be attending Boston College in the fall. And so when I started taking field hockey seriously is when I started playing competitive field hockey in 6th grade at Seacoast United, and I was participating in numerous national tournaments. So after having college coaches watch me at club tournaments, I toured a ton of D1 colleges, and I would have to say that BC was the one college that stood out to me, and I toured BC when I was a freshman in high school. And after I toured the college, I instantly knew it's where I wanted to be in 4 years. The campus was so beautiful, and I love the coaching staff, and I love that BC has the high level of both academics and athletics.
Along with Sam, her teammate Grace Michael signed to St. Anselm for field hockey.
I've been playing field hockey since 5th grade, and the reason that I wanted to play field hockey in college is because of my love for the sport. My recruiting process started in 8th grade by going to showcases and camps and clinics just to get my name out there and to get exposure. By sophomore year, all that had really stopped, and I'd narrowed down my list of schools. Coronavirus affected the recruiting process because during spring, for field hockey, it's a very large time in the recruiting process because it's the off season. So I missed a big spring season my junior year, and I wasn't able to get as much exposure as I wanted to. I chose St. A's because the combination of athletics and academics offered. I enjoyed how small the campus was and the community that was on the campus. I also liked how close it was to home.
This committing process is different for everyone. While Samantha started in middle school and committed sophomore year, senior Hannah Thompson committed late October of this year.
I decided to play softball at the University of North Dakota. Not only did I want to play in college, when I was younger I really wanted to play far away, because when I used to watch the College World Series and look at where the girls were from, there was no one from New England. So that was always a big goal of mine, was to be one of the first to go far away. My recruiting process was extremely long. I started looking at schools in 6th grade and traveling to different camps and looking at different campuses and meeting new coaches. A lot of the recruiting this summer was over video recording, and whenever I would hit, I would send the video to all different college coaches. And when North Dakota came into the picture, it fit everything I wanted. It fit big time school, big time sports atmosphere, focus on student athletes. So once I started talking to Coach Stevens, I knew I really wanted to go there.
Also on Hannah's softball team is a Merrimack College commit, Nicole Basil. Nicole announced her commitment on December 7, 2019.
I've been playing softball since I was around 8 or 9, and it's always been my favorite sport because there's so many different aspects that you can work on, whether it's offense or defense, and I don't know, I've just always been drawn to it more. I've had the same coach all throughout my life, which has been Dennis Bruce, which is the varsity softball coach at Winnacunnet. I started off with him at Seacoast Breakers, and then we moved over to the Northeast Hurricanes, and now we are Rip City. I chose Merrimack College because it wasn't too far away from home and it had the major that I really wanted to study. Other than that, I officially signed my NLI on November 11th to become a Warrior for the next 4 years, and I couldn't be more happy and thankful for everyone who has helped me on my journey to get there.
Winnacunnet is filled with many talented athletes, including these 4 seniors. They've shown hard work, consistency, resilience, and passion for their sport. I wish them best of luck. For WHTV, this is Ella.
It's going to be so hard leaving Winnacunnet after missing out on our senior stuff.
Yeah, like the prom we never had.
Imagine buying 2 dresses for something that never happened.
Couldn't be me, but did you hear that Senora Edgar already left for the year? Most students know Senora Edgar for her teaching all levels of Spanish here at Winnacunnet. Unfortunately, she has taken a job offer at Marshwood High School a few minutes from where she lives and will be finishing up the year teaching there.
I've been at Winnacunnet for 18 years,
it's my family. It's my community. Even though I've never lived in the actual community, any of the communities where students come from that go to Winnicott, I've basically grown up there as an adult. And so all of the relationships that I have with the faculty, with all of the students, and it's like when you no longer are going to school, it's like, what is that going to feel like? I mean, that's kind of what it feels like. It's like I'm no longer going there, and I've been going there for 18 years of my life.
We all wish her good luck on her future endeavors.
I love Senora Edgar. She'll be so missed in the Winnicott community.
You know who I won't miss?
Well, Serena, I think before we get too into it, I'm gonna go wrap some presents.
What, like we're wrapping up this episode?
Bye, Winnicott.
See you next year. Here's to 2021.
All I do since quarantine started is go on my phone.
What else have you been up to?
We just sound so animated. Like, I don't know.
Let's put some energy into it.
All right.
You and I. It's you and I. Mom.
Okay.
Oh no.
I feel like I'm at Kume.
I am at Kume. Like,
it's okay. I kind of messed up too.
I don't know why.
It's our roast
I was nervous about that. I was like, why did I say it like that? And I want to say it sassier.
I know, and I'm like, well, Serena.
Well, Serena, I know.
Well, Serena.